All right. What's up, everybody? We got Solar in the top left side of the map, ASTREA in the bottom right, and of course, ASTREA started by blocking Solar's base. Now, remember, guys, this is a very good matchup, very even on good days for ASTREA. But if ASTREA's not having a great day, let's be honest, Solar is good at killing him. ASTREA is one of the cleverest at blocking like Dark and Solar's Queen Roach timings when he can kind of predict that they're going to do it. But we'll see how it goes, because this map, very common for a Queen Roach attack to come across, very common for Solar to just throw the kitchen sink at you, and Solar's always been a very clever player in this matchup. If he can figure out what your goal is, shut it down, and then just counterattack across the map, he will overwhelm you. Nexus comes down on 20 Nexus into adding the probe. Very standard build order. Cybercore here as well. Yeah, I like this wall off because he builds that gateway in front of the pylon later, and it just reinforces this wall and makes it a very solid defensive setup. You can see Solar trying to pull off drones every now and then to attack this probe, as it is just being irritating and forcing those units around. ASTREA is just going to back away there for now, and Solar tries to double up, but he misclicks his drone, and then he fixes it. If you tell a drone to right-click on another drone, it'll just follow it and never mine, and it's hard to notice it visually because it kind of mimics a mining drone and then it runs back and forward. So if you're not looking closely, you can have that going for the whole game and sometimes not realize there's a bunch of workers that are essentially idle. Spotting the Zerglings. He's going to rotate around, make sure there's not a ton more Zerglings sneaking out of the base right now. But since there are 4 already here, he has to turn around and run away. He has Chronoed as Adept. Do we see a second? And second Adept. Oh, he's going Robo and Stalker. Okay, I really hope we get to see ASTREA's old school double Robo build, guys. It doesn't work well if the Zerg goes fast lair, but if they go slow lair, it's amazing. Like if they're on hatchery tech for a long time, the 2 Warp Prisms, 4 Disruptors running around dropping, and then you follow it up with like a 1 Colossus and just a bunch of Immortals. Or actually, I think he goes 2 Colossus. I think he goes 2 Colossus with range, 2 Immortals, and 4 Disruptors with just basically Stalkers, Adepts, you know, Sentry Zealots, basic units. I don't know if this is that build, but he did that build. I think he beat Scarlet with it in the Americas region last year. I copied it, did it for like 6 months, and I had the highest win rate I've had in PvZ on ladder in such a long time. I was shredding nerds. Unfortunately, his shades weren't perfectly synced, but with link speed not quite ready, no reason not to go in, get himself a Zergling snipe. Warp Prism is on the way so far, but no Robo Bay. Looks like he might just follow up with like a little bit of lighter depth pressure, and we might see like a Twilight Council and a Forge or something like go down soon. Already a bunch of Zerglings coming across the map, looking to deny a quick third base. These Adepts still threatening the Shade though. I think that cancels, yeah. And he might consider recalling soon, because these Lings could surround you at this point, and this Adept on the backside is super exposed, so it takes a little bit, yeah, I think he should have shaded earlier, should have got out of here. He's going to lose these Adepts now. I mean, he kills a few Zerglings, but it's definitely better trading for Solar than him. I mean, he killed a few Zerglings earlier than that, so at least it's 5 Zerglings for an Adept, which is the same units lost. And he got an Overlord with his Stalker. So where is that Stalker now? Looks like the Stalker rotated into the main to get that Overlord kill. He's going to potentially warp in a few more Adepts on the front side. He's going to shade these guys in. This is a classic way of harassing. Neeb invented this. You shade in, pick off a worker or 2, and then save them with the Prism and get out of there. Such a nice move, man. The Lings being on the other side is kind of crazy for Solar. Takes himself a bunch of mining time and 2 drones. Fortunately, it looks like they didn't host this up on the correct version of the game. Ooh, Roachhorn and late lair, guys. I think this would have actually been a very good game to go for the Robo Bay play that I was talking about. Playing kind of conservative as Solar on his workout. Prism's trapped, guys. This is really bad. You do not want to lose this Prism. He's going for more damage. ASTREA's getting fancy. He gets himself another drone. He's really disrupting Solar. So that is annoying to play against. +1's on the way. Oh, he's going for a 2-base timing. Oh, wow. I thought he was going to just take a delayed third and have early upgrades, but he's straight up going all out on an Immortal Charge Archon timing, guys. He's got 2 sentries, so he will have 1 wave of force fields with it. And look at this. Oh, get out of there with the Prism. Just recall the Prism. Do not throw the Prism away. He's going to save it. He saves 1. It's getting out of here time. He's going to try and fly out that right side. The Queens were right on the edge. They might have been able to intercept, but it looks like he will be able to escape. Nice moves there for ASTREA. Solar's work account's very low, guys. Solar is just going to go for a Ravager Ling all-in. This should not work at all, you'd think, but I've actually seen it work in this scenario before where because the Ravagers can just land Biles from afar, the Zerglings can bust in, you can actually just overwhelm and do a surprising amount of damage. Now, he's going to go back to droning, so I guess Solar's not going all in, but he is so low on workers, so heavy on units, and building drones now is not going to be amazing. That being said, he's got a big army advantage. The problem is +1 Zealots will two-shot Zerglings. So being so Zergling heavy, not good against this. Now, on the other hand, there's no Templar Archives, and it's only a 3-gas timing. It's a 41 probe follow-up all in. 4 Immortals, though, for the Roaches. 4! Oh my gosh. If Solar holds this, he's a god. I don't see it happening, though. 2 Zealots going home. Those guys are going to get wrecked, man. They do not want to be getting surrounded by Adepts. Those Zealots, by Zerglings, I mean. He needs to warp in Adepts behind the wall off. I mean, Zealots... Oh, he's going to warp in more Zealots on the outside. I guess because they two-shot the Zerglings, he's figuring this is a good fight for me. And they are going to have charge, so they can come back and join on the front in a little bit. But I don't think we want to waste too much time as ASTREA. Then again, maybe he can take it slow. 4 Immortals plus the Zealots with +1 should kind of shred this army. Guardian Shield, not the most useful. I actually think Force Fields are way more important than Guardian Shield against Roach Ravager, because they already do so much damage. Knocking 16 damage down to 14 with the Guardian Shield doesn't make that much of a difference, and a lot of the time your Zealots are out of the Guardian Shield anyway, and that's what's getting attacked. 4 Zealots are there. ASTREA is going to need to send those back. He dodges the Biles on the front. 4 Zealots should be able to beat this many Zerglings if you keep them in formation. He does not, but it's okay. Solar backs away from the fight. Nice Force Fields there. Gets himself a Queen and a Ravager. More Force Fields do come down. The Roaches, 4 of them trapped up front. I like the Zealots pulling back there, realizing the Immortals and the Sentries can do this on their own. Keeps trying to tank with them. It's a lot of Sentries, guys. So many Sentries. I love that his Warp Prism is far away, but those Zerglings flanking actually doing pretty well. More Zealots will warp in. The Immortal Sentry, though, gunning him down. And I feel like as long as the 4 Immortals are still alive and you've only got a few Ravagers, you are probably pretty screwed here as Solar. Bile's going to spread. He lands on 2 of the Sentries. Very nice Biles. But Force Field Energy's gone. Just forcing the fight now is ASTREA. And Solar does not have the numbers to keep up. ASTREA there with a kind of delayed 4 Immortal +1 Sentry timing off of just that very annoying Prism Adept pressure that really opened Solar up to be weak to the timing. All right, guys. Solar had a bit of a rough game 1 there. I think he was just so paranoid about what he thought was going to be a really early timing. So it never came, and he was just sitting on too low a drone count. Now he's in the bottom right of sight delta. He sees the probe coming in. He wants to go for the 14 hatchery! And he does get the 14 hatchery down, which is, I think, going to be very nice that he chose to do that. Not getting his expansion blocked. Cyril's been doing this a lot, and it's good to see Solar doing it as well. If your opponent's going to commit to that early probe, it's super worth getting the hatchery. Now, if he didn't see the probe, Solar would have built 2 more drones and then put the hatchery down just to optimize the opening just a little bit better. So we were just having a talk about why Australians, so we're obsessed with chicken salt. Chicken salt, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, chicken stock, kind of like, it's always a different recipe. It's a bunch of like just herbs and probably garlic powder usually in there and different spices and things. Every chicken salt's a little bit different. The generic one we have is like a bright yellow. So you've got this like yellow salt on your chips, and it's probably got MSG, maybe a little bit of cocaine in there as well. It tastes like it's got cocaine in it, you know? You're just there like licking your fingers like, ooh. Yeah, it's pretty darn good. Chat saying that waffle fries are fantastic. Waffle fries are very good because they get very crispy. I do like waffle fries, and you also, yeah, you put the right, I mean, there's lots of different seasonings these days. It's probably just bouillon. Yeah, stock as we'd call it in Australia, stock cubes. I didn't know what a bouillon cube was for a long time. I remember there was like a scene in Scrubs where they're putting bouillon cubes in, what's his name? Hutch or something? Hutch is Crazy? They like put it in his shower cap or something like, oh, Hutch is crazy. Was that? And I was like, I don't know what those are, but I guess that's a prank. You put some cubes in the guy's shower cap. I don't know what that means. Yeah. And then I found out many years later, it's like just a stock cube. Anyways, random rants aside, I will eat that food that my wife just brought me after this game. We are casting live. It's looking at me hungrily. It wants to be eaten, but we're going to leave it. We're going to cast this game, and we'll try and smash it right after this one. It's funny which countries keep French-speaking words. Yeah, well, Americans try to pronounce things like in the French way a lot. Like, you guys will say filet, whereas we just say fillet. We just call it an eggplant. You guys are like aubergine. You guys come up with a lot of fancy-sounding words in America. You guys use, a bit more of the Spanish and French influence, I would imagine, from colonial times and all that sort of stuff. You guys, and then you guys try to say like Parmesan and stuff. We're like, it's fucking Parmesan, man. Like, that's... Excuse my French. Sorry for the language, you guys. I do try to keep my casting a bit more PG-13 lately. You watch on the live stream, the moments in between the casts are filled with expletives, but that one slipped through, my bad. Yeah, Americans try to pronounce things properly. Like, you guys listen to your Italians. So this is like a war we won against our Italian migrants a long time ago, where they were like, oh my God, can you guys pronounce anything correctly? And we were like, no. And they gave up because Australians are so illiterate and we're so bad at pronouncing things that aren't native English words that they gave up. So everyone in Australia pronounces Italian words wrong. And we're just down with it. The Italian people pronounce it wrong. Americans will be like, that's not how you say that. And we're like, oh, you guys lost. The Italians won. You guys got wrecked. You guys didn't manage to hang on to your ignorance. You know, there's a common misconception that America is very ignorant, but I would say that Australia, sometimes we can outdo you guys at ignorance. Like, we're actually very high level at ignorance. We're just not as well known for it, you know? Sometimes America just takes all the credit, you know? It's like the big dog in the room. Everyone focuses on them. But I think we can match and possibly outmatch Americans at lots of things. There was one point like 10 years ago, we actually were fatter than America for like 1 year. Americans didn't like that. They took that one back almost instantly. They were like, get out of here. They're like, we had more, I think it was more obesity, a higher percentage of obesity. Americans were like, no. And they snapped it back within like a year. And we're like, ah, damn. So we've been trying to take that off them, but it's hard to keep up with you guys. Void Ray does get a drone. I always like the Void Ray snipe. This is actually a good controlling play, but you notice Solar's droning way harder. He's playing way less scared than that last game. Makes sense. Against a Void Ray into an Oracle, it's a lot of investment in air units. There's not a lot of ground tempo that can come in behind that. Now, there is a Twilight Council Forge gateways, but this has got to be the blink or charge. Unlikely to be Adepts this lately on the game. And with the Sentries coming out, that actually, Sentries makes me think it's going to be charged, guys. We'll find out in a moment. He's got 100 gas. Yeah, it is going to be charged. We don't see much Sentry Stalker anymore, because Stalkers always end up abandoning the Sentries in the middle of the map when they blink away and the Sentries just get killed by Zerglings. $63 drones against 59. Oracle's coming in the right side. Queen's not in position. Solar doesn't have overlords on the edges. This is the power of the Void Ray, guys. He doesn't see the Oracle coming until the last second. Doesn't matter if you're super good at StarCraft, though. Ooh, that drone was inside the gas, so the Queen actually wandered just a little bit too close. ASTREA's got to get out of there, and he will go hide in the back corner. Nice time on the 4th hatchery. Solar on 67 workers can just mass roaches for now. +1 roaches with roach speed on the way. Lings mixing in. The question is what tech goes down, and this is what ASTREA is frantically trying to figure out. He's like, what are you going to do? Your lair's up. Is it Spire? Is it Infestation Pit? Infestation Pit means Hive and Lurkers, usually. Spire means a Mutalisk swap, or at least around a Mutas. But Solar's doing the, I'm not throwing my tech down early, so you can't scout what I'm doing. So ASTREA just needs to play really solid. And the problem is he's going Zealot Archon into Mass Roach. This is not good for him. He needs to start building Immortals yesterday. If he doesn't start building Immortals, he's in Trubs. Yeah, as I say it, he realizes. He's like, I really need Immortals right now, man. This guy's got a good economy. He's pumping roaches. Overseer does go down. So sitting on 3 base is a good idea. I like that he's got like a few cannons and batteries around. He's building a lot of batteries. Probably too many, though. The problem with Zealot Archon is they're not good with batteries. But, well, Archons are okay, but because they're both outranged by, like, Roach Ravager, it's an issue. Once you get a few Immortals guarding, it's okay. So he cannot afford to miss any Immortal production. Because Solar's going to do a Roach A move, a maxed out Roach A move, and he's missing Immortal production. ASTREA's making a crucial mistake. You guys have to understand, when you play single Robo, you cannot afford to miss any Immortal production. He also can't afford to get supply blocked. He is building more pylons. He's going to go up to 10 gateways, which is a very high gateway count. It's just a Roach A move. This is one of those builds where if the Protoss goes for too much tech, goes double Forge, goes for a 4th Nexus, they just die. But he's actually playing really safe. As long as he keeps making Immortals, he should be good. But if he tries to take a 4th base, he's going to open himself up to Solar A moving him. Solar has no progression. Solar has no follow-up. This play from Solar takes balls, because if the Protoss just sits on 3 base and defends, they win. But he's attacking. No, ASTREA! There's no drones on this 4th base! You don't need to attack! He's going to leave himself exposed. One of his only 2 Immortals dies. He's not even building another Immortal. He's making a Warp Prism, and ASTREA is going to die to the Roach A move because his army just gets wrecked. He's going to kill a hatchery and then try to recall, but he doesn't have any recall energy. So he doesn't have any recall energy, not even in his main base. He tried to clump up because he was thinking about recalling, then he realized he couldn't. So ASTREA did not realize what was happening. And this is the thing, Protoss never thinks that Zerg's going to be dumb enough to just make Roach Ravager and hope that you move out. It's like, oh, what are you just hoping that I happen to move out and I just don't defend? Like, that's so dumb. But it catches Protoss off guard all the time because they underestimate the strength of it. Dark was one of the OG players who would do this a lot. This is a very good surround, though. Oh my gosh. Very good Zealot surround with that force field. Kept most of his probes alive. They have to go back to mining. It might be possible to hold. He's got +2 coming in. There's going to be another wave of mass Roach soon. But the supply advantage is not as big as I thought it would be after all. The Zealots can chase down the Roaches. Roach Micro from Soul is pretty good. Gets an extra Zealot of value. The Zealots need to get out of there. Oh, ASTREA, don't throw 6 Zealots away. Okay, he loses 2 of them. Prism's going to drop. And he's going to see a 5th base and think maybe Soul is macroing. Of course he's not macroing. You killed his 4th base, remember? So all you need to do is make Immortals and make High Templar. He's trying to remake batteries right now, cannons. He's making a 2nd Robo. I love the 2nd Robo placement behind the 3rd. Very safe area. If you lose your 3rd, you're dead anyway, so why not? +3 attacks on the way. I think ASTREA's got an advantage. You know, it's going to be one more scary wave, and if he holds the next wave, it's beyond game over. He's going to have 6 storms available. He just needs to not waste his storms early. And this is something a lot of Protoss players make the mistake of throwing the storms out, and the Zerg kind of baits 3 or 4 storms, and then they just shove in, and you've only got 1 or 2 storms left and you lose. Immortals need to keep getting chronoed. I also think battery overcharge is huge, so he's got to hang on to it. And ASTREA really needs to just camp on 3 base. Do not defend your 4th. Just camp on 3 base and survive. Does he realize what's happening, though? He doesn't see the middle of the map, which is a real problem for him. So this Roach army is going to just catch him completely off guard. Okay, he sees it. He does see it now, and he's got enough units to deal with it. Yeah, this should be game over. You might be like, what are you talking about? He's down 60 supply. If he doesn't mess up if he just gives up his 4th, it's game over. But if he tries to fight, gets surrounded, maybe. Solar is all in. The storms are ravaging him. He's not at his batteries. The storms are doing massive damage. Needs to morph Archons as well. The Immortals are going to take some biles to the face. Crazy attack for Solar. You could tell crazy all in. And ASTREA didn't fight at his batteries, lost his important units. Solar has a chance now. He lost too many Immortals, High Templar, and Archons. And this kind of resets. Yes, he's building 2 Immortals at a time, but he needs time to rebuild Storm Energy. Otherwise, Zerg's going to give him problems. ASTREA's doing a good job of distracting, buying himself a bit of time, but he's got to be efficient while he does this. So losing a few Zealots is a problem. And you know Solar's just going to remax. Remember, guys, does anyone here been around for a few years? What was my nickname for Solar? Twitch chat, you guys let me know if anyone's been watching for the last few years. For a couple of years there, especially during COVID, in this matchup, I referred to Solar as the Brick Zerg. I don't know if anyone got that in chat before you guys heard me. Basically, there's a lot of Zergs that look elegant in this match. Solar always just looks for a mass Roach Ravager timing almost every game. Often with a Queen Walk. He'll do it every game. Most Protoss players can't stop it, but this time ASTREA is pretty well set up here. He's got so many Immortals coming out of the double Robo now, and with +3 about to kick in as well, it's just too bad. You just can't break through. Not a wall of +3 Immortal Storm. Essentially, yeah, I often would define, a lot of Zergs, like Serral sometimes looks like a guy who's fencing in this matchup, and Solar just looks like a guy who pops out from behind a bush. The Protoss is just going for a jog, thinks they're having, a bit of afternoon exercise. He pops out of a bush and just smashes a brick into the back of the guy's skull. It's brutal. It's kind of gross to watch, but it's so effective. You're like, okay, this is warfare, man. Just shove Roach Ravager. In this game, it's not, because the first timing just did not do enough damage. ASTREA barely managed to hang on, and the storms in the next one were pretty good. He's got good storms there, but look, the Immortals coming in from both sides. Big biles landed. The battery overcharge on the left is doing nothing. He stormed his own army a little bit. Oh my gosh, that storm's big. These Zealots and the Prism could be doing big damage right now. Solar's F2'd everything to the front. The Zealots do go in from there. He still hasn't sent the Zealots in from the right side. He's so busy microing at home. Dude, if these Immortals go down, maybe, but no. The Immortals start to take damage, and the Roach Ravager line crumbles. Left side, he is taking damage. ASTREA needs to probe back up, but he's actually up in workers right now. Those Zealots in the top right side have been ignored. These Zealots are rewarping into the main. ASTREA desperately trying to survive. It looks like he's going to get the rare 2-0 on Solar. This is looking like he's got it in the bag. I mean, as long as there's no big mistakes for ASTREA, he's up 2 upgrades. Solar's starting +2. He's on 55 drones. Solar just never transitions. And that's the thing is, this is the art of ZvP is about overcommitting. Never half-ass anything is the lesson I learned from Solar a long time ago. If you half-ass your timing, you've got so much less chance of it working, and Protoss gets out of control. Now, don't get me wrong. It didn't work in this game, so a lot of people look at a game like this and go, see, it doesn't work every game, therefore it's not good. No, it's very good. If the Protoss plays perfectly and you're playing the best Protoss in the world, I don't know if it's a great style. But against everyone that's not hero or max packs, this is a very powerful style. Dude, Astrea's arc of Arc on Immortal Storm is insane. Saying Protoss getting out of control is laughable? Oh, I'd love to hear your counter argument, guys. Remember, StarCraft isn't a game I know everything about, but I've been playing and casting it for 14 years, and this is so far beyond game over. Solar is completely dead in this game, and if you don't think that, that's okay. You guys can disagree with me, or you can keep an open mind and listen to the guy who knows a lot more about StarCraft than you. Solar is so far beyond dead right now. We're watching a man flail about with an army that hard counters his, that's better upgraded, and the Protoss is up 11 workers with more money. And if you have a counter argument, that I'm happy to discuss it with you, but it's okay to be wrong. GG, well played. ASTREA gets a dominant 2-0, which I was not expecting versus Solar. Very well played by ASTREA.